All right, cool. So whenever you're ready, Reg, we can rock and roll. I know I did kick it off. Whenever everybody ready, let me know and I can kick it off.
Okay, yeah, I'm good to go, bro.
All right, cool. Everybody ready? Welcome to Late Breakfast, everybody. I'm Torian B.
I'm First Class Reg.
And what's going on, guys? We got usual suspects. I don't think we need to say Chloe's a special guest anymore. Chloe, you're forever special, but I mean, like you're like you're like a friend of the show. So I don't think we need to like give you like the whole special guest thing.
Oh, I earned my square. Thanks.
You earned your square. But we did get a hermit crab out of the out into the light. What up, Sarah? What up, girl?
What's up?
She's over there in the other room and all that, Sarita.
I'm trying to turn the lights up. Yeah, you're like in the galaxy right now.
Yeah,
I'm kind of digging it.
Yeah, she's spacey. So this week's topic. This week we are going to talk about that versus battle that we got on Saturday night that I think everyone needed. They definitely cleansed our screens with the love and everything. My chakras were cleared. I had my my sage out. You know, I smudged the house and everything like that. You know.
Yeah, I feel very very realigned right now.
Yeah, man. The whole thing felt like a big ass hug, man.
It definitely did.
It felt so
Every sentence coming out of my mouth right now is in all lowercase, no capital letters.
I take pleasure in knowing that at a point in that live, Black people everywhere yelled out grits with passion.
Word.
I just want to point out, I've been saying that I know Jill Scott makes great grits for like at least 10 years. I know she puts cheese in them.
I'm doing that for other reasons though, Rob.
These points were made, but I feel like great Black women in history make amazing grits. Like it is what it is. If you can't trust her grits, then you can't be with her.
Are you
what it is.
Are you like a grits like tester, like taster?
I'm be honest with you, that's my opening line. Like I'll small dialogue conversation, like, you make grits? How do you make
Bob, you a grits connoisseur?
If I was ever approached you and not used that line right there, please let us know in the comments that he has not used it, because I don't believe it.
I'm so serious. I'm so serious.
I've never been big on grits.
Well, what?
Grits are amazing. That means you haven't had good grits.
Man,
What?
I love grits.
Detroit really is the ghetto, isn't it?
Reg isn't. You guys forget Reg is African and Black. He's not down south country.
Oh, so he's porridge.
Yeah, he's
porridge.
My mom's side of the family is from Mississippi, so like I eat grits, but
go on.
Like everybody else is. I mean,
He had to say it like that because he knew we were going to believe him. I eat grits.
Yeah.
I eat grits.
But like
you put cheese in the grits or you put sugar?
Was your household, was the cuisine more like Southern food or was it more African cuisine?
It was both, because when my mom cooked, it'd be Southern because of her side of the family, and when my dad cooked, it would be African.
Look, I'm getting to the shit. Did you put sugar or cheese in your grits, bro? Which one?
There's two types of folk. That's it.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah, we about to judge.
I didn't put sugar.
Okay.
All right.
But did you put cheese? You didn't say you put cheese either.
I didn't put cheese though.
It's okay. Just don't put sugar.
Just don't put sugar.
Ivana?
I was just trying to shoot Reg. I was just trying to shoot you bail, man. That's what I was trying to do. I was just trying to say, well, you know, Reg wasn't raised like that, Reg. You know, like, Reg kept saying, like, nah, my mom's is from, like, the South.
You was making it sound worse, Reg. I'm like,
we're not small. I'm glad Isha not here to talk about Star Wars.
Oh, my God.
Shit.
Oh, my God.
Well, what?
He just deferred? Did he just change the subject altogether?
No, because since it's smoke coming, Isha would be here to talk to me about not watching Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, you need to read
That's another issue.
Well, I don't like Star Wars either, so I'm with you, Reg. It's fine. I picked some grits. We can not watch Star Wars. It's fine.
There we go.
Yo, Chloe, I'll make you love Star Wars. I guarantee it.
Ally.
All right. So who do y'all think won the versus battle, guys?
We did.
People. I think the culture one.
We did. The culture one. I'm so sick of y'all with that shit, by the way.
And don't be on a platform called Versus.
It's called a versus.
Oh my God.
Technically, somebody should win.
Okay.
All right, cool. So besides all that, yeah, the universe won, we won, but who do you think had the better selections head to head?
Erykah.
I think Erykah won because Erykah has literally had Jill playing her song while Erykah wasn't even on the live. She was playing on Jill's live. So I think you playing somebody else's song for them in the battle, And I love Jill. Jill body, but Erykah won that. It is what it is.
I guess I'm against everybody. I got Jill. I went song by song, and I re-went over it. I got Jill edging it by 2 songs.
What's the 2?
The main 2 that really got it for me, I was really pissed off that they started with You Got Me. It was way too early to start with that. That shouldn't have come to life.
I'm glad they got that out the way.
I think they set the tone.
I was really happy they got that out of the way.
I was glad that they got that out the way.
Just get it out the way.
Why? You know why? Because I expected that to be a tie, but then upon rehearing both, it was like, nah, Jill has that hands down. I forgot what it was that Erykah played, but Whenever You're Around kind of has a special place in my heart, so that kind of edged it for me too.
It's a good song. But Erykah won though. That's cute now, but Erykah won.
I'm more of an Erykah fan.
We knew Erykah was going to win.
Jill did better than I thought.
I didn't think that.
I didn't know that.
Both
I
of them
knew that.
really have a good caliber of live performances that they went through. So that was going to make it hard for me because I think what you do live versus a regular regular record is not the same. And I think they both do a good job with storytelling.
Yeah, they're both incredible live.
I think they were evenly matched in that category.
I've never seen people live, but it's on my list now.
I think
seeing Erykah live at Meadows.
I've seen Erykah live.
Yes, that was great.
Brooklyn Academy of Music, and that was magical with an orchestra behind her.
For me, I think it was really cool because I felt like, and immediately I walked into it feeling like it was going to be a matter of preference because they're both like OGs in the neo soul movement. When you think of that time, you think of them. But then it was interesting to watch and see not just the respect and camaraderie, but almost like I never saw it from the perspective of Erykah was here first and Jill was very much a student of that before she came up and blew up the way that she did. So I think that's actually why I love that they both started with You Got Me, because it was one of those like, if you were already on, and if you hadn't sang my song, I might not be on right now with you and we wouldn't be in this room. I thought that was cool for me.
I think it goes to show too that they still are in tune with the internet the way that they are, because that's one of the first questions that came up when this battle was performed. It was like, who's gonna play You Got Me? I feel like that didn't go unnoticed to them, and when the battle kicked off, they just had to address the elephant in the room. So I think they kicked it off that way.
I will say this. Through all that sincerity and tranquility and all that peacefulness, there is a little bit of snobbiness with Erykah Badu that reminds me of Babyface.
Yeah, she gave me that vibe. But I just think that's Erykah's personality.
I didn't want to say anything.
But I think the same
I just felt a little bit.
That's Babyface's personality. That's Erykah's personality. Erykah's always like, I'm the shit. This is
you
my
wrote that song. But that's so cute, girl.
I also think she just has a very dry sense of humor from what I was catching on to.
Listen, Rob just mentioned Erykah at the Meadows, and at the Meadows, I remember walking past the stage during her set, and she was literally talking into a microphone to a crowd of people about the quality of her vagina. So if that doesn't tell you anything about how she feels about herself and why she would have that
incense of her vagina smell. Like
she waved. I was fortunate enough to have media passes to that, and I yelled, "Hey, Auntie Erykah," and she waved back and said, "Hey, baby, I almost passed out." And Andre 3000 was there, and I was like, "What are you doing here?"
Or
he looked at me like, "What are you doing?"
For the auntie that pushed you out the running.
Yeah.
What's funny is I
did
her with like 5 white Troop memes on Twitter, and she follows me now. Yeah, Erykah.
You know what I think is fire? That Erykah didn't play any of the new shit. Like I almost thought, I was like, is she gonna try to get the kids with the like when she did the phone EP after like the
the mixtape.
Oh yeah.
And I'm kind of glad she didn't.
Yeah,
I am glad she played some New America though.
Yep.
It felt like 2 women who were fans of each other that finally got to come to the studio and just like relax and just be like, bitch, you know what song I like that you did? No, bitch, you know what song I like that you did? Yeah. And they just vibed with each other. It was just like, a vibe that we were like being like we were let into the room for. I didn't feel like they were performing for us. Like they was just
the Andre Harrell moment definitely tugged at my heart too.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know much about him, but seeing that pause at the end of the live was really nice.
Yeah. I feel like it was like Reggie said, we needed a hug. It's been a long quarantine. It's been a long week. It's been a lot of deaths in the Black community, both civilians, as is always happening, as well as like big greats like Little Richard and Andre Harrell, and we just needed that. Like I could sit there and watch them.
Yeah, Auntie Betty.
3 days,
Auntie Betty.
Somebody died, or like it was Andre Harrell and Little Richard one day, and then Betty Wright. And then today, Jason Miller. So like,
who? Betty who?
Betty Wright.
Right. Not white, right?
I'm not gonna hold you. I'm gonna keep it all the way real with you.
All costs.
I was more hurt about it being Betty Wright than Betty White. I mean, I don't know about y'all household, but every Saturday I grew up listening to No Pain, No Gain and The Clean Up Woman and, you know, all of those songs that are pillars in my... That's a song. So, like, for me, it hurt. Like, it's crazy because she was very prevalent online, too. Like, she would tweet people and favorite tweets and retweet stuff, and it was a big deal. Although she was on that mid-ass Khaled album, I was proud to see her on a Khaled album. Like, wow, that's really big.
That was a good
song. Hold on, what is it? Holy Prayer or something that she did? That was really
with
Holy Key, yeah. Yeah, so that really touched my heart. Like that was a part of my childhood that kind of hurt a bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm not in that same like generational gap, but I feel like every single Black mom plays those songs.
But that was the next morning, right? Am I tripping?
That was Sunday.
That was Sunday. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I feel like if it happened Saturday, they might have made a kind of note to it. But
yeah,
it was the next morning. But in general, we needed that. I needed that. I felt so good. I had such a good time with that versus.
I think it was the best live also in terms of like audio quality.
Yeah.
It just flowed really well. The energy between the two of them was really great. It was just really nice. It's ironic, you know, like they took so long to get to a women's live and it turned out to be the nicest one. What I would like to see is some integrated, like some co-ed lives, because the fact that they're being segregated as though women can battle men is kind of
Do you really want to see Missy Elliott be Thanos? Because that's really what it's going to be.
That's all I want to see.
See that? I want to see Nicki go against some rappers.
I'm down for that one. I'll get competitive for Missy.
The freedom!
I don't need Nicki to do anything right now.
They're talking about John Legend and Alicia Keys being a thing.
That would be the sleepiest battle of all time.
I don't know how
it sucks that the Carters can't enter the chat because they'll kill the internet.
Teagan and fucking John Legend together.
I'm not gonna hold you.
Frisky's annoying ass is gonna be
Alicia Keys is gonna be. It's gonna be tough for her after 2 albums. After those first 2, it's downhill.
I don't have time.
Yeah, like after was it Song in the A minor and Diary of Alicia Keys? It plummets. Like it really goes downhill.
Like Charlamagne told her years ago, what's up with Alicia Keys and holding her notes? She doesn't in every song.
Can somebody answer a question for me? Why didn't her and Beyonce release Put In a Love Song?
Because it would have hurt everybody. Beyonce was like, matter of fact, dub, I'm cool. Thanks.
They shot a video.
We can be friends in private. Yeah, they shot a video and everything.
They shot an entire carnival in Brazil.
Yeah. We didn't need it. Nobody asked for it. We were fine.
I mean, she sacrificed her voice for love. If that's what she wanted.
No, there's nothing wrong with her voice. It's just the quality of the songs we get. Nobody. All right, we're not doing this, but we're not doing this about a Black woman. Not today. Nobody.
You're not gonna. Don't bring Chloe down after
because Whitney gone.
Beauty that we just saw.
Just said. I watched the first season of Love and Hip Hop. I saw what the house looked like when Swiss left. That's all I'm saying.
So toxic.
That was Mashanda's choice.
Mariah Carey. Who was
back to the music.
Go with. Who does Mariah Carey go with in a lot?
Tony, I don't know. Whitney's not here.
Oh,
so.
man.
Mariah Carey.
Mariah and Tony Braxton.
Tony? I don't know.
No.
Nah, she can't.
Mary J. Blige, maybe.
Tony is
Mary J. Blige, maybe.
Part of my life. Mariah's getting her the fuck out of here.
Mariah can go against any genre. I feel like any other pop song.
Mary J. Blige is a good contender.
Yeah, only because of the amount of music that they have together collectively. Of course, we've always historically.
Celine Dion.
I'm not trying to say that.
Well, actually,
that's good. I mean,
fuck with Celine.
I think Mary J.
might have that
contrast actually.
What?
Mariah and Mary J. is a good contrast.
Yeah. I think that's the best one I heard from her.
It's the only, honestly, out of discography, they're the only two female artists still alive with the same amount of catalog where they can go through those music,
Even though their vocal range is so different, Mariah versus Janet could be interesting.
But I think
I don't want to see
Mariah versus
MJ.
You think
Mariah
so?
versus MJ works better because they both infuse R&B with hip hop. Like Mariah has plenty of songs where she has a hip hop verse or a feature, and Mary doesn't. So I think that actually might work. Versus who'd you say?
Mariah and Mary J. Blige.
No, versus
Mariah and
somebody said Tony Braxton.
Janet.
Tony.
Yeah, Mariah and Janet. I don't think Janet's more like I'd put Janet against Britney Spears. No lie, no shade.
Oh my god.
For her later years, for her later stuff.
And don't sleep on Brit.
Britney had a Slave for You was a hip hop record. Don't come for Brit. Okay?
Yeah, but you're not singing that in 2020 because that shit sound crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, Reggie.
Reg's put on his Dr. Umar
He meant
hat.
slavery in a sexual context, not in a racial context.
But it still sound crazy from this low ass white girl.
All right.
She said she was a slave, not your slave.
Yeah, right.
I think isn't that a Samuel Jackson movie?
Reggie, take the headband off today. Like, relax. Reggie, Britney had grits.
Nah, y'all.
There was a battle that I did hear. There was a battle that I did hear. I think everyone kind of low key wants to actually the D'Angelo versus
Maxwell.
Which
Maxwell wins.
Really good.
Here for that.
Maxwell saw a lot of variables with that because that started as Maxwell versus music.
No, music only got 2 albums, 3 tops. 3 tops.
Get music.
Yo, you need to.
I just want to listen. I just want to sing.
Exactly.
And Superstar, and after that, his career goes downhill. He starts rapping.
No, he has a lot of fucking fire features though. He could bring up.
He does, but I think the two.
These niggas.
But
a one-hit wonder battle. Let's get Ruben Studdard and Jay Holiday out here.
Oh my god.
Watch.
Hey, but Jay Holiday got at least 3.
But I did hear the Streets one. The Streets, what they really want. Shout out to my homeboy Gabriel. He interviewed Brandy, and Brandy's opening to battle with Monica. That's interesting.
I said this weeks ago.
Brandy's open to a lot right now.
Are there any songs in the like that you guys wish they did play in the battle that they did?
I was surprised she didn't play Golden. I don't think she played that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, there was a couple of songs she didn't play.
I would have liked to see more features. I wish that Erykah played her Maybach music feature.
Oh my god, yeah. That was great. Yeah, that was a good one.
Wow, that would have been
Yeah, that was a nice little
The song that she has with her and Drama is really good actually too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And her and Drake.
I wanted Erykah to play I'm Sorry, Miss Jackson.
You want to play Prototype too?
Word.
Like, where are we going with this? Prototype?
Yes, she can play that. Fuck that.
No, I like.
You want Exhibit C? You want to play Exhibit C also?
Yes.
Like
all of that shit.
No one could do it better by DOC. She could have played all that shit.
I also would have liked Jill.
She could have played a couple Kendrick songs.
Jill should have played her Lupe Fiasco feature also.
Daydreaming? Yeah. I saw Lupe say something about that, and I was like, I have mixed emotions. I would have loved to hear it, but I don't think it was the vibe for that battle. It wouldn't have fit properly.
Outside of the say that, but a lot of the songs they played weren't the vibe. So,
well, outside of the Roots and obviously Common, like they didn't do any feature heavy shit. Like, it was very much about them and their work.
Shout out to Reg. Reg brought up a very good point on the timeline. I think it is time for a Soulquestion documentary. It's time. A Soulquestion documentary.
All right, guys, it's about that time. Time to talk about Insecure.
It's gonna be our new cue when your Zoom background changes. We know it's time to switch topic.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this, Rob. I'm coming for you.
All right, guys.
You can say what you want. I'm here.
So let's do this. Who wants to go first? Number one.
I'll go first.
No.
Rob, don't be long-winded. No homo.
I'm not. This is all Issa's fault. I'm done.
What's homo about long-winded?
This is all Issa's fault. Go ahead. I'm done.
He's
All right.
done.
Where do we begin?
I want to hear what Chloe is.
Okay. Go.
One of them is, I think it's fucking hilarious that we were also stressed out about Condola and Lawrence when they were merely a backdrop to the imploding friendship that was going to happen with Molly and Issa. 2, Kelly, not Kelly. Tiff is definitely maybe going through like a postpartum thing that I think we're going to unravel and develop soon. 3, I'm making these succinct so that y'all could jump in with your things. But 3, Molly's fucking trifling for that. And I don't give a fuck how you feel about your baby girl, Rob. Molly's fucking trifling for that. And lest we forget that she only knows Andrew because Issa was dating Nate and pulled up to the crib with the little Portos bag, acting like a fucking psychopath, and she was wingmanning her girl. I don't think it's very strange for you to ask your ex-boo to talk to his roommate and homeboy for a favor if you want to be the fuck left out of it. That had nothing to do with Molly. Fine, I made it have nothing to do with you by going the other route. And there's a lot more there that we can unpack, but I'll go ahead and let you guys.
What was the second one you said? I wanted to add to that.
Tiffany. I think that they're trying to sprinkle the idea around that she might be suffering from postpartum.
Tiffany's
might be
storyline, and this has nothing to do with how I feel about Amanda Seales.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't. Tiffany's whole storyline is so drawn out. I'm so tired of it. Like, I feel like there's more to it. I've been feeling like there's more to it since season 1, and we just don't get it. Like, we had to go a whole season with her pregnant, come back for her to have the baby, and then we weren't even a part of that. Like, the baby was just here. It was just like, oh, yeah, the baby, yeah, we got to go see the baby. The baby's here. And then now it's like, all right, maybe there's something else. Like, I'm just tired of playing a guessing game with her and, like, how cool her husband always seems to be with just her bullshit.
Man, running over him?
Yeah. He's just, okay, all right, you want me to take the car? I mean, I'll take the car. All right, bye.
I think he's cheating on her, but that's my own opinion.
Maybe.
But I think he's never been happy. I think he's just put up with it because he has very strong morals and ideas on relationships and marriage, but I don't think he's happy.
I'm just tired of it playing out the way that it has been. And for Andrew to stick around with Molly, like they ain't been in that deep for him to be putting up with that shit, man. She is
cold-blooded.
She's impossible, bro. She's impossible.
Damn, all right.
Like, you said what?
This is we not fucking with the Tiffany character, I see.
I'm talking
I
about
don't like Tiffany because I don't like Amanda Seales, but that's neither here nor there.
Now. I'm talking about how Molly is.
Tiffany is Amanda Seales is affordable Whitley Gilbert, but that's here and here.
What's up, Sarah?
I don't like Amanda Seales either.
I don't think anybody does. I don't think anyone.
I think that's why we have the storyline that we have because of the backstage.
Yeah, you read my mind.
But I also think that even though we're presented with Tiffany and Kelly as supporting characters of Issa and Molly, that they're just that. Supporting characters. Mm-hmm. We never go deep into Kelly's background.
You don't know anything.
We just found out Kelly where Kelly worked like season 2 when Issa came up to her, was like talking to her. I think they give us just that much because that represent the other beeline friends and associates in your group that you're close with. But like you may miss some things if you're not paying attention, you're not checking in. I think, and then because Rob, you have all these opinions about her husband and what they're going through, they want you to have these conversations. They want you to have that lingering idea. They're not just going to give it to you off the cuff like they do at Molly and Issa. It's not really about them still, but they do play supporting factors in Molly and Issa's life.
Perfect example, ideally, I would want to see, or how I would want to see the development of these characters. Did you guys watch High Fidelity?
Yeah, I did.
So how in High Fidelity, even though it was Rob's story, how it had an episode where it was focused on the guy and like how, just strictly on him, because you start to watch and like midway through, you're like, well, what's his story? And then boom, you get it because you have a whole episode that focuses on him. Like, I really like when shit is shot that way because it's like it gives you more intel on the surrounding characters.
Well, they did that. They did that back when did like a day with Molly or like 90 days with Issa and 90 days with Lawrence. Like 9 days. They did that.
Essentially, those are the main characters.
Right. They may do it with the supporting characters, but they're still new. I
like that point. That's a really good point that Reg made though. If they gave Tiffany an entire episode, I think that would probably be like one of the most talked about episodes ever because I'm pretty sure Tiffany will be like doing some toxic shit and like running her man's life to the ground. And a Kelly episode would be fucking hysterical.
Well, that would be amazing.
I just want Kelly's podcast, to be honest with you. Like, I really would like Kelly's podcast.
That'd be a great spinoff, honestly.
I know she does writing on the show.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah,
so,
she's good.
But can we circle back to Issa and Molly's?
Yes, I was just going to say.
Let's talk about that because I'm really glad that we have 3 women today because I didn't feel comfortable talking about the dynamic of women's friendships with a bunch of men. I wanted to talk about it with women. God. I wanted to talk about it with women because obviously, I'll be honest with you, I look at female friendships as very like, weird. I feel like women like drop each other like a fucking bad habit and don't have like camaraderie that men have. But that's me from the outside looking in. So ladies, I would like to hear y'all perspective in this situation. Go.
Sarah, go. I know you wanted to say something.
Yeah. To piggyback on what Torian just said, I don't think that that's the case across the board, but I do think in some cases that as women, dating is complicated and getting it to go right is obviously like hit or miss. It's always a gamble. So I think that sometimes when we meet a guy that we really like and we connect with, we can be like protective of the situation where we don't want anything to go wrong. We don't want them to perceive us in any kind of way. And I think that that's what was going on with Molly in terms of her setting that boundary that Issa considered to be unnecessary and a made-up rule, where she didn't want to ask Andrew to do a favor for her friend. She was trying to keep things like, Molly's obsessed with doing things the right way. So she really felt like she was probably trying to stagger things out, take her time with Andrew, because they literally just went from dude not wanting to open up like, 1 or 2 episodes ago where he was kind of distant and she felt like she wasn't really getting through to him. So she's like, we just started getting him to open up. I don't want it to immediately, hightail it to you're doing things for me. You're helping me out with my friends and this, that, and the third. So I think that's where Molly was.
What's funny to me with that is like, I don't think that everybody's different with the way they date, like Sarah said. So I don't think that Molly's right or wrong for wanting to keep a boundary. To me, it's about how she reacted to everything.
Yes, exactly. I don't think it was what she was saying that was wrong. I just thought it was more of the time and place factor.
Yeah. And I feel like that's always been Molly's issue anyway.
Yeah, you're at your friend's event. This is her.
But Molly does that all the time.
She's been working on this for months. Why would you?
Molly's done that since season 1. She's like literally ruined like Issa's big moments. Every single way. That first event that Issa had when all the dudes were there, it always comes head to head with them there. It's like Molly can never let Issa win just for a moment. But I think
and body language is telling too. She came over there like she made a beeline for Issa, and it was very aggressive.
She was about to pop off.
But it's just so
if you're my best friend at my goddamn event because I'm gonna take my fucking earrings off.
I think it was interesting because, and everybody else kind of like remembered when for Molly to bring up boundaries right now, and Issa's not respecting her boundaries. Wasn't Molly the one that stopped Nathan from talking to Issa last season? And she saw him and didn't want them to talk. Like you can't talk about your boundaries when you don't respect somebody else's. Exactly. I think the problem that we've been talking about since day one with Issa and Molly is they're both evolving. Because whether you like it or not, Molly and Andrew, they're doing okay. Like, she's got everything she's wanted right now in her relationship.
She actually is very supportive.
And she's actually being smart about setting boundaries because she didn't do that with Dro. She didn't do that with other niggas. Like, she's actually learned from her mistakes.
Dro had a woman and Dro was a fling, and she honestly shouldn't have even been taking him seriously.
But now she understands that. Like, because of that situation, she's who she is with Andrew and how she's going about it. Her approach has been different. Issa's so used to Molly fucking shit up, she just assumes that Molly about to fuck this shit up.
So
and
I think that's a problem in their friendship too, is that Molly can be very condescending and have a very like almost like uppity kind of like she looks down her nose at Issa a lot.
And then when Issa dishes it back to her, she gets offended in her.
Yes, because she feels like she's so put together. So the thing with Molly is that she's put together in her career. She's definitely doing well in that aspect. She's successful. She's at a firm. You know, she's got money, obviously. We can tell how she dresses. I was like pointing out, like her outfit for the black party was so like, it just didn't fit. Like everyone else was very like, you know, dressed down and chill. And she had this very like uppity, upscale outfit on. Like, so Molly is always like that. And she's always looking at Issa like a fuck up, like you said. Like, what's wrong with this girl? Like, you saw how immediately she was like, you have so much drama. Like, she just dumped all that on Issa.
And the crazy thing is that Issa has literally no drama this season. Like,
exactly. But I think that comes from, she sees Issa's maybe like struggles, Issa not having like a set career, Issa figuring things out. She sees that as drama. That's what she's like qualifying as drama.
But she's also counting, she thinks that Lawrence and her are having a drama right now.
Yes.
It's a great callback to the episode before this, right? Like when I think Issa was talking to Kelly and she was like, well, she just sees me the way that she sees me.
Yeah. She did say that.
Pretty much.
And in that episode, both Kelly and Tiff, as the supporting friends, are like, you guys need to talk to each other. Like,
right. Yeah, they were like, you guys are probably feeling the same thing, but no one's talking about it.
Yeah.
And we just saw like the kettle boil.
And we do that as women a lot, where we get prideful, and sometimes it becomes a who's gonna talk first battle, and like we'll just sit there and like we'll look at each other's stories and shit, and we'll keep up with what each other's doing, but no one will speak until someone like breaks the silence.
And I think a lot of times that fear out of not speaking comes from the fact that we kind of know that the end is near. Like I feel like Issa and Molly both are coming to the realization that they might have to live life the rest of their lives without each other. If there's a possibility that they can't come to this resolve, because they're both in a place now that they enjoy and they like where they're at, but it may not be the thing that's going to be the binder continuously between them. It's coming to that realization like, damn, I really might have to get rid of this person as a friend. It's like, rather than having that sit down moment, which is going to hurt more, they'd rather just find a reason to be mad at one another and not talk. Because that's almost easier. It's like, I'm validated in my anger because you did this to me. Because that's almost easier to justify your mind.
Question. Do you guys think it's going to be addressed as to why Lawrence wasn't there?
Yes. We're going to have a moment.
Probably because they expected Condola to be there.
Which, honestly, wait a second also. I think it's kind of fucking shitty that Condola tried so hard to maintain a friendship with Issa while she was seeing Lawrence. And then the minute that they stop seeing each other, not only is she disappearing on her when they're working on something together, but she kind of just like leaves it at that. Like, well, I broke up with him, so I'm breaking up with you too. Like, what does one have to do with the other if the whole point of us being able to be friends was, we should be able to be friends without the motherfucker that put tomato on his fries. Like,
that's a good point. And just to add to that, like, just the way that relationships in general fizzle out in this show are just so incomplete to me. But
that's life.
I mean, yeah, but it's just
life. You don't always get closure and resolve. I've done it.
It's also a 30-minute sitcom.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, but I think
Does anyone know what's going on with Kelly and Issa's brother?
Well, Amal and Kelly, they hate each other.
Yeah, they just have like a rivalry. They can't stand each other.
Yes.
And it's just part of their bit. Like, it's both of their characters being funny. Shout out to Amine. I didn't know he was so tall. Shout out to Amine. I didn't know he was so tall.
Sarah thinks that Issa's brother
Caroline guy.
Amine.
And Kelly secretly fucked.
No,
he's gay, Sarah.
No, he said he's dealer's choice. He said it depends on the day.
Well, maybe.
What did he say? Player's choice?
Yeah.
Well, he was somebody in terms of like dicks or like booty holes.
Yeah, I think that's what he meant. Like, if he top or bottom.
Some niggas top and bottom, so that's what he's talking about. Not like genders, honey. He's gay.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
He just don't like Kelly because she annoying.
I do want to talk about the fact that it was kind of revealed in this episode that I don't think Issa really reached out to Nate from a sincere place. I think she used Nate as for ends to justify the means, and I think Molly made it a point to say that. Like,
who gives a fuck? They were dating and he deaded her and ghosted her. She don't owe him anything.
She missed that.
He did a fucking favor. Who cares?
He put that nigga in a fucking fucking Ferris wheel. She missed that nigga. but it was also beneficial to her. He owed her a favor. Why not? I'm gonna use
it
that.
Probably gave her a reason to hit him up. It's probably like about the two birds one stone it. Like, let me get something for my event and maybe have no after party too.
And if she was using him, fuck that nigga. He ghosted her.
Who cares?
Who cares?
We found out that he didn't necessarily ghost her because he wanted to. He was going through something.
You wanted to. You made a choice to not text me.
But that's the
I'm
thing.
going through something.
They still see that as ghosting. Yeah.
Because he
text
can't.
somebody and say, "Hey, I'm going through something. I'm gonna hit you back." But you just not answer your phone.
But we've also.
She's going through a legal case right now because you fought somebody in her car. You gonna ghost me, nigga?
You're not about to do me like that. I'm sorry.
No, bugging. You're not gonna say anything.
You want to ghost me after that?
In Nate's defense,
that's fine, but accept the consequences. Like,
in Nate's
I don't have to
defense,
forgive you.
He apologized to Issa. It was like, so that doesn't mean anything.
People say sorry every fucking day. Who cares?
So do you want crucifixion or you want redemption? Which one do you want?
She forgave him. You being bitter. She forgave him and now he can do her a favor. Boop, let's go.
Perfect example. You are being bitter because you expect her to give him more or something. She's forgiving him. He's at the party. They're hanging out. He did a favor. Like,
you back in now. Look at you. Welcome back.
She owes him. She owes him something?
I don't think. Whoa, I didn't say she owes him anything.
But
that's what you're saying because you're like, he's just using him.
But what I'm saying is, to Molly's point, I think that it was a bigger issue about Issa just using people in her community.
How is she using people when she's doing an event for the community? Of course she needs help. She can't do it by her fucking self. If you're my friend, you shouldn't feel used. You should just want to do it with me just because. And she went to Nathan because he was a nigga who gave her the fucking idea. So of course he can help her. Why would she not? He helped her. He inspired the whole shit.
So we don't.
Why is it using somebody when they can genuinely help you? Why is that using? Yes, I'm using all my friends for what they're beneficial for. We should be using each other.
It's called a community. That's why we're here. Network. Use the community.
Rob, girls be using you to get sneakers? That's why you feel away?
Whoa. No. Not that I can recall.
I don't believe that, Rob. You over there looking
a lot of everybody has 2 feet. Everybody has 2 feet and they can get sneakers on their own.
Nike socks from me and that was it.
Wow. You said everybody has 2 feet? Not everybody has 2 feet, Rob.
Oh, that's ableist of you. That's ableist of you.
Rob over here handicap shaming.
Wow, Rob.
You can still buy 2 pairs. Like, you can still buy a pair even if you got 1 foot. Like, I mean, just want to be dead stock. There's nothing wrong with that.
Rob is that person that don't get up for handicapt people on the bus.
Yeah, he don't.
Wow.
I get up for handicapped people. I get up for handicapped people.
Any last words about this topic, guys?
Great episode. Really good episode.
It's been a great season. This season is definitely making up for last.
I'm glad the last season was at the block party, so now I want to see what unfolds after.
Yeah,
I don't think Molly and
so
Andrew
on the topic of Tiffany's possible postpartum, pretty obvious postpartum, in the preview for the next episode, it looked like Kelly was wrestling with the baby.
Yeah. She's probably like, maybe trapped him in the bed, going through postpartum stuff.
Yeah, I think they're going to finally come to terms with it as friends.
I love how because we are as viewers, though, to even pick up on that. I think that was really cool. Like, that was like everybody talking about.
Pretty obvious.
Yeah, I think we're at a place as a community.
To leave her baby at the grocery store.
I think it's all current, and it says a lot to the writer's room to like pick up on the certain things that are current right now. Like I feel like when this show started off, especially like season 2 and beyond, Issa Rae and like their whole writers team caught a lot of flack for like, oh, they just take shit from the timeline and they put it in the show, and it's like, well, even if that's what happens, you shouldn't look down on that. I mean, what happens on the timeline is cultural. Like it's all the shit that we go through every day. And that just shows the awareness to put it in.
Yeah. I mean, there's been
like she doesn't credit with certain shit. Like she made a mishap with the Nipsey Hussle tribute sweater it was.
Yeah.
And she hopped on Instagram and she did the right thing. She was like, oh, shout out to, and she at the original maker of it, and she acknowledged that the shit that she was wearing was a knockoff. And it's
they put a portrait of him in this episode.
Yeah, she had a portrait of him on this past episode on the wall, and it's not out of Issa's character to wear some knockoff shit. That would be
That's true.
Her character.
That's very true. All right, so moving along, we have to. I wanted to talk about a young man that just came home from prison. A lot of people are up in arms about it. Tekashi 6ix9ine is officially home from jail, and a lot of people feel that the attention that he is getting is wrong because a lot of people feel that everyone should live by street code, and that because he's a snitch, that everyone has to become a gang member and not like him and not like what the music that he's making, even though like some people like his music. So I just wanted to hear some thoughts on it because for me, I've never been a fan of his. So to me, I'm just like, well, I mean, this means nothing to me. But there's people who actually fucked with his music and now they feel conflicted to like his music because he's a snitch. But then I'm like, well, I mean, are you involved in gang activity to feel that way? Did he snitch on a family member of yours? He went on Instagram Live and gave his reasoning for what he did. And I'm just like, all right, I mean, you didn't have my ear before. I mean, I watched IG Live because, you know, I tend to like to watch train wrecks. But it really didn't make a difference to me. I think if you liked his music, then continue to like his music. We have artists that are accused of domestic abuse, that are accused of other bad things, that even rap about doing bad things, and people continue to listen to them. So I kind of don't see...
accused of being a pedophile before anyone cared.
Exactly.
The snitch.
Right, yeah, there's literally people that argue I still want to listen to R. Kelly. But then people are like, oh, no, I drew the line at snitching. But people, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy to me. I'm like, if you like it, you like it. Like, it's not like, you know what I'm saying, you're in a gang or you live by a certain code. So I just don't see the difference. So I want to hear everybody else's thoughts.
I will admit that I am very easily entertained by the bullshit. I don't listen to his music, but like, I stay in tune with certain shit surrounding him because it's like he's inescapable at this point. Like if you listen to hip hop, you know, and this is like a big story. It's just something that just keeps coming up. Like you can't avoid it. I watched his video. I watched his live. He made some good points on his live, considering the fact that the people that he was getting in trouble over, or you know, I think it was about loyalty or whatever. And he was just basically questioning, like, well, why am I supposed to be loyal to people there's somebody that was fucking my baby mom when this and that was going down? And it was like, all right, I understand that point. Like, granted, I don't know the whole story behind everything. And of course, there's always three sides. But like, just hearing it from that point of view, he made a good point. Like, who was his loyalty supposed to be toward in that time? Like, those weren't his friends, but at the same time, they had him in the mix. Like, they had him in the mix of doing certain shit, and they kind of propelled his image. So he owed a certain amount to them, but it played out how it played out. And at the same time, I'm interested to see like who works with him after all of this shit goes down. Like after, I think Felix was the one, or maybe it was Q that said Drake. Oh no, it was Eli. Eli, it was you, right? That was like, yo, how long is it going to take for Drake to work with him? And I don't think...
No. I said, do we think that 6ix9ine and Drake got one in the tuck?
Yeah, no.
If they do, there's a cease and desist letter being sent immediately.
Yeah, nah. Drake would not want to be associated with that. It's going to take... I don't know who it's going to be that's going to work with him, but it's going to be surprising.
It's going to be... I feel like it's going to be someone like a Lil Pump or like...
Yeah, somebody that...
kind of rappers from that vein of being kind of on the fringe of, you know, like kind of going against the grain of like, oh, you have to be this way. You have to, like, those kind of guys.
My thing too is like we especially when it comes to the timeline, we curate the noise that we let in because of the type of people we follow and associate and look behind, right? And I feel like it's a generational shift between who gives a fuck about the street code and who's gonna keep bumping him anyway. Because the whole point of the reason that he's even this famous, this big, and got this much attention is there's a bunch of 19-year-olds in Idaho and everywhere the fuck else that don't care about the culture and the game and the code that are going to continue to bump him, which is why he came out to so much money to begin with when he goes into witness protection. And he's going to continue to have those people behind him. And those are the kids that are buying things, or those are the kids that are streaming all day while they're playing video games or whatever the fuck else they do. They have everything running on rotation. So... like Meek Mill is out here talking a lot about it, and it's like, Meek, y'all are not in the same school. And honestly, I don't think of you guys in the same sentence, and I don't think that you should bloody yourself with that same sentence. Like, the people who consider and think of the code are looking at people like Meek. They're not looking at people like 6ix9ine to have ethics when it comes to how the game is run.
Do you think anything less?
In my personal opinion, if we just set aside morals and we set aside the fact that, you know, his issues, the problems that he's facing before and after coming out of jail, I just don't see 6ix9ine being in this for the long haul, because
I don't think he ever was.
If we're just strictly talking about music, like, yeah, he got a couple of bangers that knock, but you got to understand, these are bangers that are just for the moment. Like, these are songs that are not.
And his whole MO is shock value. Everything is about shock value.
Yeah.
Are we sure just for the moment?
But you can't even blame him for, I don't blame him for anything that's happened. I blame everybody else. I blame the media. Yep. I blame everybody else for the hype that they built around him. Everybody created this monster and created this little demon. You think that every kid's dream is to look and be famous, and these young little kids want to have all this money and they want to look like these best rappers. They want to look gangster because we've idolized it so much that this is the image of success that you should chase. And that's what he did. And everybody embraced this little Spanish boy running around saying nigga, even though plenty of black people have problems with Spanish people saying nigga for whatever reason. They all rallied behind him. It was a bunch of black people in that clique that put this little Spanish boy, known whatever he was, up on a pedestal. Get your life together. What's happening? Come on.
Whoa, but you're a fucking co-host.
Exactly. Everybody else is responsible for where this kid is at. So now that he's back home, money rules the world. Of course he's going to get streams. Of course, if he drops a hit single, all the other celebrities are going to forget about that shit and go back with this nigga. If he's on top, they're not going to not stop fucking with him. Like, it is what it is. I don't think
been a man of merit. Like, this is not a guy that came into our lives talking about he was about something. So I also don't understand what people expect.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like when he first showed up, it was very much of a like, haha, look at this kid with the rainbow hair type shit. Like, just kind of like buttering up the whole thing until it became like a runaway train, basically. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to tune into that live, even though 2 million people tuned into it. Like, I didn't want to tune into it because I felt like I as an individual would have been adding on to it and egging this thing on, even though I'm just one person. So I feel like it's, like, to Chloe's point, it was all just negative attention. Oh, look at him. This kid's wilding.
The biggest mistake that he's making is him boasting about the fact that, like, yo, I ratted on y'all. Yeah, I'm still out here. Yeah, I got a #1 record. With him continuing that same thing that he started before he went into this whole trial and this whole issue, him turning, going back on that same leaf, it's not going to look good for him at all. Like, him being cocky that, like, I got a #1, and I will be mad at me too. And
what's he supposed to do? Is he supposed to let the bars speak? Like, what the fuck is he supposed to do? Because he's not like he's one of the best of our time. Is he supposed to let the bars talk for him?
I mean, I also understand, like, like, as long as we're in quarantined, he's going to be successful. He's going to have hits. But
that's not necessarily true, because
as soon as you start going outside, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know if you saw the video. It gets to a point in time where you can't escape your celebrity. And it's going to happen to him. He was in Long Island posting this video, and the little white girl from 2 houses down was like, oh my God, Tekashi's outside. And then that's all it's going to take. And they had to relocate his ass.
Yeah, and they found his new spot.
To Mena's point, he's never been built like that. And Eli, to your point, you shouldn't boast and brag about the decisions that you made to protect yourself and your family if that's why you did so.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time.
Very good point, Rob, but I don't think that it's only a matter of time. There's plenty of snitches that are out in New York City doing fine right now. They have. There are.
Okay.
There's just moving around freely, and they have the proper protection. And the thing of the matter is, unfortunately, and I'm not advocating for this, but what I'm saying is that if something happens to them, you make it real bad for whoever you are. So anyone that's going to be bold enough to do anything to him or his family members needs to understand that they better be fucking covert fucking Navy SEALs, because those are the kind of people that are going to come after them to do that. So you might as well just leave him the fuck alone, just let him do what he do, and hopefully people just stop paying attention to him. Now they won't though. They won't. But the next thing I wanted to talk about is the rumor that he's in bed with Roc Nation right now, which makes it a deeper, darker criminal link, because Meek is a Roc Nation artist, and Meek is basically like going at him so hard, but a lot of people are saying that he's dealing with Roc Nation, whether it's on the management or the advisement side, or even with them trying to get him like placement. And it hasn't been denied or confirmed yet, but a lot of people are speculating that, you know, Roc Nation, they are money hungry, they are capitalists, and that they are working with him. What do you guys think about that? Like, if it is true?
It sounds untrue.
I mean, the NFL wasn't a bar, so it wasn't a line we wouldn't cross. So I mean,
anything is possible.
Anything is possible right now. We're literally in a depression.
Yeah,
what do you want me to say? Like, I think, Torian, to your point, you said 2 or 3 weeks ago that we will not be surprised the amount of artists that are going to sell their publishing during this harsh economical time. So yes, it's sad and it's petty, but like, so we all said we like train wrecks, and if I can put $50-60 million on an insurance policy on a snitching ass rapper that I know may die, fuck it, so be it.
Are you starting a conspiracy theory that they're gonna get him shot so they can collect?
There's a Deadpool somewhere. Yeah. Meek's in it. Hoes in it. Like,
it's also 2020, so all bets are off this year.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
Get out by the Rona.
I think that people, in relation to your, like, to directly answer your question, in the sense that I think people are making a mountain out of a molehill with the little, like, he's using a lawyer that's associated with Roc Nation. There was a little paper plane hat in the video. Like, I think they're making a lot out of something. Or conspiracy theory side is, this is what they want us to do. They want us to bubble it around and talk about it, and then they're gonna announce that he's doing something with somebody.
You gonna do a press conference with Hov?
It's 2020. I don't think so, but
well, you know, either way, people are gonna try to come up with something, because
him and Bleak, they're gonna do Say Fridays podcast. So,
Would you say, James?
I was saying, you know, like, regardless of what the truth actually is, people are always going to try to come up with something, because as humans, we all crave answers, even if it's the answers that we make up ourselves. So.
Wow, that was really deep, James.
That was deep.
That was because of this past weekend, by the way.
Okay. That was very good. So, all right, there's one last topic, and I didn't tell you guys about it, and it's my fault, but I want to talk about it real quick. The news is going on, right? So, as it was announced today, Say So, right? That's the name of the song, right? Say So with Doja Cat and Minaj beat out the Savage remix with Beyonce and Megan Thee Stallion. So a lot of people are like kind of like shocked, because it's Beyonce. You think Beyonce the biggest, you know, like she's bigger than Michelle Obama, like she's famous. And, you know, like a song, anything with her, like you just think would just be the end all be all. But I want to talk about Doja Cat star like rising. Like I've kind of like been like a little bit on like the Doja Cat train, and I know like Nicki Minaj's fans hold like a lot of weight in that, but like, do we feel like Doja Cat is like the next artist that's going to like be like propped up to become like the next huge star?
I mean, first off, I'm glad the better song won. Say So is an amazing song. It's so fucking catchy. It's like
it's a better song, but is it the better remix?
It's like laced with crack.
I have a theory.
Not the better remix.
Let's hear
it's
it.
not the better remix, but it's the better song.
I think one of the reasons that the song picked up steam, not the original, because the original was already like TikTok
famous,
legendary, like a legend. But I think the reason the remix picked up steam was because there were all those rumors and speculation that there was a Beyonce diss. And
I wanted to hear it, Sarah. Yes.
Yeah, so the Beehive probably listened to that song a million times trying to dissect the meaning of the verse and inadvertently made it number one.
Yeah.
Wow.
They played it backwards. They had it on pop.
That is an excellent fucking theory. I didn't even think about that.
That's really
Venus
good.
retrograde? Venus retrograde. Wow.
The meme
parade.
That's a really good one.
How many Beehive fans you think will listen to this and then be like, "Oh shit, she's right." Have that moment.
So, do you guys think that the Barbs is strong? So, you think that the Beehive is so strong that they inadvertently made this song number one?
Yeah,
it's a hell of a theory.
I find that very believable.
Anything is possible. We're in quarantine.
I don't think the kids really fuck with Beyonce like that.
I think that you're out of your fucking mind.
I think you lost your fucking mind.
I don't think that the younger generation fucks with Beyonce like that.
Nigga, we've heard
I couldn't understand that. No.
Wait a minute.
No, I can understand why Rob would say that.
I've been fortunate to be quarantined with a 60-year-old that does not give a shit about Beyonce.
Big homie.
So I've learned that they really don't give a fuck. They don't.
Yeah, like Beyonce's for the 30-year-olds. Like maybe.
So for
I'm still very
Doja
excited
Cat,
about Beyonce.
Because I don't.
Doja Cat and Nicki Minaj, that's a thing for them. They don't care about Beyonce like that.
So you don't.
That's our. We held her in high regard. Anybody under 19, 20, they don't give a shit.
So
they don't care.
Even
that's also not true.
Megan's song, you don't think so? So Megan doesn't.
I don't think that's a push. I think because they feel like it's not
because
organic.
Megan looks older.
What?
Maybe, or it could be. Or it could be that when you put Beyonce,
now? We're going through a lot over here today.
When you put Beyonce on a song,
fire.
I think my theory reigns supreme. I'm sorry. I think it's just the Beehive trying to dissect that song.
So all the 30-year-olds are just dissecting it, like all these teenagers are blowing mine.
Well, also though, like the Barbs are fucking like the Barbs are a different stand house than the Beehive. The Beehive.
Yeah, I've seen people have to make their pages private because the Barbs are sending death threats to them.
The Barbs are intense, and let's not pretend that we haven't learned in the last couple years in the age of streaming that people literally keep like farms running with like the machines going on and shit. Like the Barbs are totally capable of all of that. Because let's not forget this is Nicki's first number one, and it's on a feature.
She has plenty of those. But I also think that just to kind of dispute what Rob is
saying.
saying.
This is her first.
She does it. This is her first one.
This is her first one?
This is her first number one on the Billboard charts. Number one Billboard 100 number one song. Her first.
It was a feature. But it was a feature. Either way, I would say to discredit what you're saying, Rob, to refute that, in terms of that song versus Savage, right? Say So for the 30-year-olds has a more nostalgic tone and a nostalgic feel than Savage does. So I don't think that's true because Savage is definitely more of a younger type of crowd. Even though it makes the old aunties feel dope, they're not going to go back and listen to it necessarily all day, every day. It's a 2-minute song. But Say So has a little bit more of that old school 80s bop, a little bit of tone that everybody kind of liked. It was kind of cute, kind of fun, kind of airy. I just think this week, that one is going to be up there. It could change from week to week. We wouldn't even know.
I got a theory though.
I think you have to look at the placement of how important we regard Hov and Beyonce when they do things, opposed to when other generations hold them in regard. I think that like it's kind of like when I Got the Keys came out with Hov, we all knew it was trash, but the younger kids extra knew it was trash because they view them differently. They looked at them as royalty. I think we're getting to a point where Beyonce, if you see Beyonce on a feature and you're younger, it feels forced. It doesn't feel organic because they're so disattached. And we have to accept that. That's okay. Two things can be true.
Yeah, I don't really believe a married woman talking about OnlyFans. Like,
why? Because married women that have OnlyFans.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure. But when you put it in a song, it's like.
Well, lucky you're not married, Eli.
Lucky you're not married. That sounds fucked up, man. That sounds really fucked up when you say it that way.
It's not personal, but I hate it when anybody says something like, well, married people, when you're not married, you shouldn't be fucking commenting on what married people do.
How the hell
Let's
you
not get into that.
How you just in here making up marriage rules?
Rob over here speaking for the entire younger
that.
generation, and he not young.
That's pretty chauvinist, honestly. Because if Hov was out here talking about Money Cash Ho still, nobody would be like, he's a married man. Like, no.
Well, they would.
They would.
Yeah, we would. What are you talking about? Yeah, we would.
It was ready to kill him for the whole elevator thing. You bugging out.
We watched the whole tour where the Beehive said if Hov walks on that stage during this whole altercation, we will boo him. We watched that. That was a thing. I think if he didn't put out 444 and save himself and really grow up in his music, we would still be judging Hov the same.
444 didn't save him. They just realized that she ain't leaving that nigga, and they was like, all right, we'll deal with him.
You're also, again, you're speaking about like the stands on the internet. I'm talking about like actual, like, yeah.
Okay.
Because also all those people tweeting that shit would be the same people that are at the fucking On the Run tour, front and center, screaming for Hov. So
I just got my theory though. I think that Beyonce or Miss Tina and Blue are going to do like a TikTok for Savage, and then it's going to skyrocket to #1.
Maybe she wanted to give them some time to get a shot.
Maybe it's possible, but I definitely think that Doja Cat is on the rise. I think that Doja Cat is about to like become the new.
Doja Cat is the shit.
She's got that pop star quality to her.
Yeah.
She's
always had that in her combo. Yeah.
Doja Cat has been out here consistently trying to make this shit work since 2014.
Yeah.
So just seeing
since Nunchucks.
Yeah, seeing her grind since then has been amazing, and she hasn't lost like. She still makes the same type of music, but now it just has more money behind it.
Yeah, she really does. I feel like the same, she still maintains the same quirkiness in her lyrics that she did when she first.
And she's always understood melodies so well. Like,
and I feel like people need to start crediting her for her rapping abilities because the girl really rap.
She's really good. Bro.
She's fire. I think Doja's fire as fuck. Something we didn't mention about getting to #1 is she did also tell her fan base that she'll put her tits online if they got to #1.
I mean, but we all know that was bullshit.
Hold on. So it got to #1 and they started pulling her card.
I don't think that had anything to do with it because she captioned it. I'm gonna show y'all my tits really hard. Like, if anybody was just like, "Yo, she about to show us her tits really hard," I gotta see what that looked like. I don't think anybody was really like.
Well, what I was gonna say is
some hard titties. Like,
stays on brand with her quirkiness.
I don't think anybody was on that wave.
What I was gonna say is that a part of her quirkiness is a response to that. She obviously didn't put her tits online, but she did put like a 5-minute moaning video online.
But the thing is too, what helps her out is just that not only is she great with music, but like, yo, she does awesome on IG Live with like all these weird videos that she posts up. Like, she's got a genuine personality, and to see her.
That's kind of my point. Like, I feel like we're talking about the Barbs and everybody. I feel like she deserves her credit with her fan base too. Like, I feel like also her fan base got her that #1.
Are they the Doja Cats? How does that work? Yeah. Are they Doja and the Pussycats? Like, what are?
Nah, she hasn't figured out what to name them yet.
Okay. Because like, yo, if you remember, people were putting that remix on the timeline before it even happened. People were putting that remix on.
That's
people
wanted versions.
People wanted that People were putting the Say So beat over Nicki's lyrics on one of her pop songs.
Oh yeah.
So that's a song that the fans put together that they were just like, yo, we need this. And then weeks before that, you had Doja Cat on IG Live praising Nicki Minaj. So if anything, this remix was in the pipeline long before we even knew about it.
Yeah. Nicki keep hopping on on these remixes and songs with people to like give herself new life and shit.
Ooh, spicy.
R.I.P. Jerry.
Yeah, I just wanted to say rest in peace to the.
Jerry Stiller.
Gucci Mama.
Yeah,
man, it's funny. Serenity.
Yeah, my Festivus poll. But guys, I want to wrap this up. We can still talk after we finish recording, as always. But I definitely want to thank Chloe for taking time to visit us.
Yo, you are producing content right now. He got the dust off. Let us know it's over. This is great.
I want to thank Sarah for making the time to come hang out with us. I want to thank Mena for always putting up with us and just, giving us that female energy that was needed. We needed that female energy on the team. She's always present. And as always, you guys, I'm gonna bunch y'all all in together because y'all are men. I'm trash. But yeah, thank y'all. Especially you, Rob.
Don't do that.
Rob's trash. But yeah. So I'm Torian B.
And I'm First Class Reg.
And thank you guys for watching.